Hi, my name is James Coursier and thank you for joining us today. And welcome to the Money Paradox podcast. Today, what I want to do is I want to talk through what are the key barriers to financial freedom. What is it that stops so many people achieving financial success and really mastering this area when, let's be honest, when we look at the numbers, most people can achieve financial freedom. Most people can achieve financial success. We live in one of the richest countries. If you're sitting there watching this from a Western country, the UK, the US, anywhere like that, you absolutely can do well in this area. So what is it that stops so many people doing well in this area? Well, it's what I call the barriers, right? The barriers that get in the way. So, first one I want to talk through is not clearly defining wealth, not clearly defining what success is in this area. If you don't do this, you don't have a clear end in mind. You don't have a clear view of where you need to get to, where you want to get to. And so if you don't have that, where do you need to go? In what direction do you need to move in? You kind of generally know the direction, i.e. make more money, but how much, in what capacity, how fast? You don't know these, it becomes vague, and the actions that you apply to getting there become vague. And we all know what vagueness in our life results in? Not much. So if you want to do well in this area, you want to get clear. You want to define it specifically. What does it look like? How much? By when? How often? Is it an amount of money, or is it as a one-off? Or do you need a certain amount of money coming in each month, each week, and so on? Okay, so get very clear. You always want to be thinking, start with the end in mind. And this doesn't just apply for money, it applies for everything in your life. What is it that you want from life, okay? Yes, okay, you have ambitions around money, but you also, I would imagine, have ambitions in other areas of your life. You may have an overall ambition, an overall desire for what you want to create and manifest in your life. It goes and it applies in those areas too. Get specific, clearly define it. So if you don't have that right now, go away after this video and write it down and get clear. And even better, find somebody and talk it through with them and share what it is. The more you can share, the more real it becomes in your mind, and the more you feel compelled to achieving it. Okay? Make sense? So the second one I want to talk through is making it a moving target. Because so many people, you know, they kind of come up with an idea of what it is for them to be wealthy. And one day it may be one number, one image in their mind, and then the next it may completely change. Maybe sometimes in a small way, others in a big way. And what happens is when we do that is it gets confusing. It also gets vague in a similar way, because how can we put together a specific plan of getting there if the aim, the place we're trying to get to is constantly changing? It just doesn't work. What happens is we tend to after a short period get frustrated, because we start moving towards a specific place and then we decide, you know what, actually we don't want to be there, we want to be over there. And so then we start moving towards that direction, and then all of a sudden we change it again and then feel like we need to move again in that direction. And then what happens is we start to question what we're doing, where we're moving. We think, well, we're moving in this direction, we're moving towards this target. But if it's just going to move again, then what's the point of moving in this direction? Why not just sit, wait, and wait for me to understand where I'm next going to go? And then we hit a place of stasis, because ultimately we then start to think, well, how do we know when we get clear on a specific place? It's just going to keep changing. So really this is just a state of mind piece, okay? Whenever I go through a goal documenting exercise with people, and I do this with a lot of my clients, because quite frankly, this is one of, if not the most important areas to master. Get clear on where you want to get to. But when I do this process, I always ask them this piece of information to consider when they do it. And I say to them, imagine you have somebody with a gun against your head. And what they're saying to you is, you need to come up with exactly what it is that you want from your life in this specific area. And if you don't come up with the answer right now, boom, you're dead. But whatever answer you give, that is the answer that you need to follow through on and commit to, because it's the answer that you've manifested. Okay? That's the answer you have to follow through on. Right? Now, the reason why I get very evocative in that imagination, right, is because when we come up with goals, it's very difficult often to be clear. So, well, maybe we want this, maybe we want that. Look, let's be honest, there is no one ideal, perfect answer as to where we want to get to. There's many different outcomes and situations we would be equally be happy in, okay? So the reality is we just need to pick one, right? So number one, pick one. And a really good way of doing that is to imagine yourself in a situation where you have to pick one, right? There's no other option other than just to pick one. And the beauty of doing that as well is what happens is it forces our gut to take over, and our gut is very powerful. Do not underestimate how powerful your gut is. So that answer that comes to your mind first, almost always it's one of the best, if not the best answer you can come up with. So go through that process if you're struggling to fix on a specific objective or an outcome that you want to get to, okay? Go through that process, and whatever comes up first, trust in that being a powerful solution, a powerful target as to where you want to get to, okay? The second piece I always tell people to think about when they're going through this goal process and they're coming up with ideas of where they want to get to, I say, now you're imagining that aspect of being decisive and coming up with that target with a gun against your head. But at the same time, acknowledge and appreciate that we evolve as human beings, what we want and desire, what we need. Our situation changes year to year. And so what you think is important right now will inevitably change in the future. That's okay, okay? Your goals are going to need to change. Your targets are going to need to change. That's okay, all right? But when you are putting a goal down, you're working towards it, it needs to be clear, it needs to be specific, and it cannot move, right? So then you might say, James, what are you talking about? You're saying you can move and you can't move. Yeah, I am, effectively. When you come up with a goal, be clear, write it down, and work towards it as if it's never going to move, right? Now, if after years, I'm talking big periods of time, if after a long period of time, okay, something material starts to change in life, where that goal no longer becomes relevant or needs to slightly change, okay, go back and do this exercise again and look to adapt or move your goal as to where you are now moving. But be very slow to change your goals or your targets, okay? Be quick to come up with them, but slow to change them, right? Equally, if something big happens in your life, okay, that can be an opportunity for us to change our goals or our targets. But again, think very carefully about changing them, okay? Be slow to change them, quick to set them, okay? Right, third barrier I want to talk through is when people define their goals, define what it is that they want from life in this area in a way that seems impossible to achieve. Well, if you do that, then you're immediately going to think, well, it's impossible, what's the point? Okay? You're setting yourself up for failure, all right? Now, the beauty is that you and nobody else have control as to what the definition is for financial freedom, okay? There are many different definitions of financial freedom, whether you look it up formally through the internet or any other kind of research. But equally, when you talk to people, I guarantee you, you get 10 people together in a room and you ask each of them, what is financial freedom to? Yes, you're going to get similarities, but you're going to get a lot of differences too. And you are no different. So when you're coming up with what your definition is of success in this area, Make it a definition that is possible, that is feasible, that when you imagine it, you think, yeah, I can actually do this, that this is possible for me, all right? That is part of the secret, okay? And if what it is you truly want, you feel is impossible, then the next piece to do is to really get under why you think it's impossible. Because in reality, very few things in this world are truly impossible. Some things may be hard, some things may take commitment and focus, but if something's really truly important for us, we can absolutely achieve it, and it is very much possible. And quite often, I'd say most things in life are simple to achieve if thought about and approached in the right way. And again, money and financial success is no different, okay? So when you're defining what wealth is for yourself, set it in a way that it is possible to achieve, because when it's possible, your mind says, yes, I can do this. And if you're really struggling with that, you want to start to really understand, why is it that you don't think it's possible? Get underneath that. Don't start trying to treat the symptom, treat the cause. Treat the source of why it is you don't think it's possible, and hit it at the roots. Make sense? Good. So, next one I want to talk through is not making it a must. Right? I'm saying a must. And when I say must, I mean non-negotiable. It needs to happen. It must happen. This is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, barriers I see to so many people. If you set financial success as a nice to have, something that would be, yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be decent. You know, if I did well, I became financially free. Yeah, that'd be great. Well, yeah, of course it would be, right? But if it's not a must, if it's not an absolute requirement for you to get there, then it's going to be difficult for you to get there. And that's because you have so many demands on your time. So many. Right now, you could be doing 100, hell, 1,000 different things. And you're here watching me through this video. Why is it? Think about this. Why are you watching this video over all the other things you could be doing right now? You're doing it because each person has a value system. And through that, we naturally prioritize all of the things that we could be doing right now, okay? And through that, we effectively pick the highest thing on our list that we can effectively do right now. And that's what you're doing right now. So if you think about it, if you don't see this area as a must, what happens is it drops low on your priority list. It drops low on your values. And that is very dangerous. Because when you do that, you do not dedicate time, energy, and resources to making it happen. And inevitably, that time, energy, and resources will be allocated to other areas that are much more important for you. And therefore, those are the areas that you will get results in and you will make progress in. Okay? This is absolutely key. Okay? If you don't take anything else from this video, take this away. If you really want to make this work and you want to be financially successful, you want to be financially free, you need to get to a place where this is a must. Okay? So ask yourself, put your hand on your heart, say to yourself, is this a must for me? Do I really need to become financially free? If it's a yes, if it's a hell yeah, great, you can move on. We can talk about all the other things around this. But if it's no, or it's I'm not sure, then that is what you really need to deal with. That's one of the things that you really need to work on. You need to understand, why is it not a must? Okay? And a really effective way of doing that is get clear on what it is you want, and then next say, okay, so that's what I want, that's specifically what I want. Why do I want that? Because when you know why you want it, then you can start to understand how important that is for you. You can start to list out all of those amazing things you can get from this result you want. And when you look at that list and you say, okay, are these things a must for me? Do I really need these things in my life? If it's a yes, well then I need financial freedom to unlock many of these areas in my life that are absolutely essential. So get clear on what it is you want and why you need it. Look at all those things and look at those things and think, why is it a must for all of these things to be in my life? Okay, how does it connect to what I truly want? This is one of the most effective ways, right? Money is just one area of your life. There's so many areas. And you will have, whether you know it or not, a purpose, something that you really truly want to achieve, be, and do within this world. And the more you can connect your money goals, the financial freedom, financial success, to what it is that you truly want, if you see that truly connecting, okay, and you say, well, I need financial freedom to get this, then you're like, oh, this is a must. I must get this to get this. And this is absolutely essential. Okay? So the more you can connect the money goals in your life with all the other goals in your life, the more tied in and the more of a must it is. And from that place, you are pulled towards achieving financial success and getting your goals in this area. You'll be compelled to. It's not a case of whether you'll get it, it's a case of when you'll get it. And you'll naturally find yourself prioritizing time, energy, and resources in order to get it. Make sense? Okay, great. Now that was a long barrier, and the reason why I spent quite a bit of time on that is that this is so important. So I hope from this video you have taken that away with you and you're going to be applying this. So main takeaway from this video is you're either confirming that this is a must for you. If it isn't, then you want to get to a place where you are seeing how this connects with everything else in your life to see that it is a must for you. Okay? So that's it from me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If there's anything else that you think would be helpful for me to talk through, just chuck it in the comments below. If there's anything that you found really useful about what I talked through, please let me know. Talk about it. Share your own thoughts, your own realizations from watching this video. And if there's anything that's prompted questions, prompted further thoughts that you'd like me to answer or cover off as part of future content, please do let me know as well. All right. Thank you so much, and speak to you soon. Bye-bye.